Shabbat Shalom. How y'all doing? Yeah. A short one, I think, this morning. So if you open up to page 1317, that's where we are. That's Deuteronomy, Devarim 1:1. Should be pretty straightforward. Funny thing about this parsha is that it's one of the parsha that always lines up in the same way with Jewish commemorations or holidays. So Parshat Devarim is always said on the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, no matter what the vagaries of the Jewish calendar are. It's one of those that always lines up. And interesting thing to note is that the Book of Lamentations, which we're going to read tonight, begins with a single word, and that word is Echa. A little bit difficult to translate. It's connected to the word for how, right? Ech means how. Echa means something like, I don't know, you'll see it all over, translated as sometimes as how, or woe, or alas, or something. But what's interesting here is that in the Parsha, in the Haftarah, and in Eicha, we actually get a triple repetition of the word. So it's one of these like strange things the way it's lined up. It's clear, by the way, that the Haftarah was chosen because it has the word Eicha in it. But it seems to be by chance that Moses here, in his final valediction to the children of Israel before he dies, before they go into the land of the Israel, he uses the word Eicha. He says, Eicha, we're on verse, where are we? Right, we're on verse 9. No, I'm sorry, I've messed this up. Where did he say Eicha? Oh, there it is. Verse 12. This is page 1317, verse 12. It's in the Hebrew, Yud Bet in Hebrew. Eicha, right, how can I handle all of your narishkeit by myself? That was a loose translation of what it says. Loose, and yet I would say extremely accurate. How can I bear unaided the trouble of you, the burden, and the bickering? I believe narishkeit. You've never heard of narishkeit? It's because you're a more elevated person than the rest of us. I have heard of narishkeit. Some would claim that I am full of narishkeit. So, okay. Simmer down, folks, simmer down. All right, so what we have is a connection between the Torah reading, the Haftarah, and the Eicha that we're going to be reading tonight, and that the word Eicha is used in 3 of them. The Parsha, though, begins, Ele hadavarim asher, I don't know, sorry, this Chumash. It's so difficult. Okay. It's difficult on purpose. It's very, page 1312 now. Unbelievable. These are the words that Moshe spoke to the people of Israel on the far side of the Jordan River, in the wilderness, Bamidbar, we talked about this. And the word I want to focus on is the word about words, that is to say, Devarim, okay? Because these are the words, the classic midrash about this is, what does it mean? What do we mean by words? It's that Moses is going to give them a little feedback on their behavior thus far. It's interesting that this ends up showing, by the way, that the word amar, which also means to say or to speak in Hebrew, is like the kindler, gentler speaking, and the word diber is the harsher or more critical speaking, and it's probably largely from the context here. There's no actual proof to validate any of this, but because ele devarim, these are the words that Moses spoke, the first things that come out of Moses' mouth were all the mistakes that the Israelites made on their way to Eretz Yisrael. But if you flip forward a little bit again, and I'm sorry for just the insanity of all of this, go to verse 11, page 1317. What's the translation there? May the Lord, the God of your fathers, increase your numbers 1,000-fold and bless you as he promised you. Then, of course, how can I bear unaided all of your narishkeit comes after that. One of the things that classically we learn about Moses in the Talmud is that Moses was a master critiquer, which is to say that one of the criticisms that the rabbis have of their own generation is that people can neither hear critique nor bear critique in the way that it seems to sort of show up in the Torah. Some might say that that continues into this day. Now, the Shla, the Shnei Luchot HaBrit, this is a Kabbalistic work from the 1500s. Rabbi Isaiah Horowitz dedicates the whole of his introduction to just how important being able to receive critique is. And it's true, in multiple Jewish sources, the ability to hear critique is something that's considered a very, very, very high midah, a spiritual virtue. In fact, in the book of Proverbs, it says, do not critique a fool, lest he hate you. Critique a wise person, and they will love you. And so what's interesting about the Jewish culture of critique is that we're not just good at giving it. At least theoretically, at the heart of who we are is that we're good at receiving it. And then it's built into what it means to be a tzaddik, a righteous person, is to be able to hear very difficult things about yourself. Now, the Sfat Emet, this is the Rebbe of Ger. I've quoted to you him many times. I love the Sfat Emet. And Sfat Emet says something very interesting, though. The Sfat Emet recognizes that it's possible that there's two types of critique out there in the world. Where is my Sfat Emet? Here he is. And one of the things the Sfat Emet says is that it actually matters both who the critique comes from, but in particular their position towards you. Because if someone who hates you who critiques you, but if someone who loves you critiques you, he actually quotes from another verse from the Proverbs, all of the wounds, please do not hear this in a way it's not intended. In our time it sounds differently, but in Mishlei it means something very specific. All the wounds that someone who loves you gives you will ultimately be to your benefit. Now, I don't think that this goes into a place of abuse, but what it's trying to say is that those who love you can see you. And those who love you and can see you can speak to you. And those who love and see you can speak to you, can tell you about things that need to change. And the way that you know whether or not you should listen to them on some level is that whether or not they love you. How do you know, by the way, that they love you? There's a sign, according to the Sfat Emet, and it's hidden in our Parsha. We just read it. There's one way to know that someone who's critiquing you love you. You know that they love you if they also bless you. If they also bless you. And you'll see, in the middle of critiquing, Moshe takes a moment to say, you have grown more numerous than the stars in the sky. May the Holy One add even further unto you and bless you. And so the sine qua non of this whole process is that the person who's critiquing you also gives you a blessing. The Sfat Emet says that the order is causal, is causational, which is to say that if you're having a problem with someone who you love very much and you're critiquing them, when they do what you want them to do, when they fix the problem, when they accept the critique, bless them, for that's what they deserve. Shabbat Shalom.